Have you ever been morally coerced? 1. Once during a school sports team practice, a classmate didn't have white sneakers. The teacher went around asking to borrow from other students. That day, I happened to be wearing white sneakers. My feet were roughly the same size as his, but I didn't want to lend them to him. It wasn't because I was stingy, but these were brand new shoes that I had just bought and worn for the first time that day. The teacher insisted on borrowing them, and when I refused, she grabbed my foot. In response, I kicked her in the face. Several sports team members started scolding me, calling me selfish and accusing me of not caring about the school's honor. They pressured me emotionally, but I stood my ground. In the end, they forcibly took my shoes. When they returned them, my once white sneakers were black and reeked terribly. From that day on, I swore I'd make them pay for it. One day, when they were running laps, I deliberately stood on the track and loudly berated them, calling them worse than animals and recounting the story for all to hear. School had ended, and only the sports team was still practicing, but a few students were walking around the track and overheard everything. The story spread like wildfire, and soon, everyone knew about how the sports team had stolen my shoes. They became infamous for it. I wonder how they would feel if they saw this post. If they dared to confront me, I'd simply tell them, I only argue with people. Are you worthy? 2. This didn't happen to me, but I witnessed it at the grocery store checkout line. An elderly man cut in front of a young woman. The young woman politely told him to get in line behind her. The old man started ranting about how young people these days have no respect for their elders and lack morals. The young woman, standing her ground, said, respect is for people who are reasonable, not for those who don't play fair. The old man got angry and shoved her shoulder, muttering something nasty. The young woman pushed his hand away, and people around them started telling the old man off. Suddenly, the old man dropped to the ground, claiming she had hit him. He grabbed onto her leg, refusing to let go, and just as a few younger men were about to step in to help, something incredible happened. The young woman quickly pulled down her safety shorts, the kind women wear under skirts to prevent peeking, to her ankles and began screaming, "Help! He's harassing me!" This pervert pulled down my pants. Everyone was stunned, including the old man. He let go of her immediately. The young woman, now free, grabbed a passerby and tearfully told him, "Please help me. This old man tried to molest me." The passerby saw her safety shorts around her ankles and immediately believed her. He lifted the old man off the ground like a rag doll. The old man protested, saying he didn't touch her, but the guy replied, "If it wasn't you, then who? You're lucky I'm not beating you up right now." With the help of a few others, they escorted the old man to the police station. And the young woman? She calmly wiped her tears, pulled up her shorts, paid for her groceries, and left, leaving me and the old man in shock. 3. Just last Saturday, I went to the movies. I had reserved 2 seats with an auto-selection feature that picked the best spots, and coincidentally, the seats next to us were also reserved. When we arrived, it turned out to be a mom and her child, but they had only bought 1 ticket. Before I even sat down, the mom told me, "Why don't you take the seat on the side? My child wants to sit here." I was baffled. Did she think this was a bus where you can sit wherever you like? I paid for these prime seats in advance, and now she expected me to move just because she asked? Without hesitation, I said, "No," and sat down. I wasn't about to let her push me around, and even with others watching, I didn't care. I refused to budge. 4. My mom made me a beautiful charm, which I attached to my bag and carried with me every day. Last month, while taking the subway home from work, an elderly woman sat next to me with a young boy in her lap. The boy kept grabbing my charm and tugging on it, saying, "Auntie, this green thing is so pretty." "Auntie, I want it." The grandma didn't say anything, and when I looked at her, she ignored me. I yanked the charm back and said, "This was made by my mom. Don't you have a mom? Ask her for something like this." The grandma finally responded, saying, "Oh, why are you so stingy? It's just a little trinket. Why not let him have it? My grandson really likes it." I replied, "Don't you have a mom? Didn't she teach you not to be so grabby with your hands and words?" They moved to another seat after that, glaring at me the whole way. I glared back,